At Subway, start your day the flavorful way by adding new guacamole to your favorite breakfast sandwich. Perfectly made with a hint of jalapeno, our guacamole turns up the flavor to your breakfast. Try it today on a hot and toasty egg, white, and cheese. Subway, eat fresh.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report, taping this on a Wednesday morning. I think we're running it Thursday morning, first day of the NFL season 2013. Ravens, Broncos, tonight, even though it's really tomorrow night, but for these purposes, tonight. And on the line, licking his wounds from a traumatic fantasy football experience. Our friend Cousin Sal, what's happening?
What's going on, man? What a roller coaster.
So last night, Tuesday night, we had our West Coast fantasy auction. Yeah. And we incorporated a rule that was your idea 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. 5 years ago?
Yep.
That the winner of the league got to vote out somebody else in the league. So we have 11 teams. Every year, 11 teams go to the draft. 10 teams remain by the time the draft starts because one team is voted out.
Right.
You love this more than anyone. You think it's great. I hate it. We argue about it every year. I think it's uncomfortable. I don't like the possibility of somebody I like getting voted out. And then this year, the tables turned, and you got voted out.
Yes, I got voted out. Although I will say it was a little unorthodox because the person, who wins, like you said, is in charge of kicking someone out. But our friend Craig won last year, and, he got up in front of the group and announced that he had just had a baby, and he doesn't feel like being mean. Blah, 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 blah. So he's going to leave it up to everyone else to vote someone out, which exposes me to be in the top three, at least, I would say, only because I invented this little wrinkle. So, and it came down to a vote, and everyone thought this guy Elliott would get voted out, but people had some cutesy votes here and there. Someone voted you, one voted Hench, one voted Damashek, and before you know it, I lost 4-3 and got the boot.
So a couple things. One, there's video that you were taking.
Yeah.
You were delightedly taking video to get the reaction of whoever got voted out, and then all of a sudden it was you. So a couple things happened here. Craig, I thought, really took the easy way out on this.
It was a pussy move. It really was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and on top of it, he didn't vote. Did you know that he didn't vote?
He didn't vote?
He never voted.
He was supposed to vote.
No, he didn't vote.
Really?
Did not vote.
Who did you vote for? I mean, I know you didn't vote for me, but did you vote Elliott?
All right, so here's what happened.
Yeah.
I did vote for Elliott, but Craig said he didn't want to vote because he felt like if he was going to vote, then he should have just voted somebody out himself.
Well, that makes sense.
I don't understand that logic.
Well, because either you're being mean or you're not. I mean, if his whole thing was, no, I'm taking this out of my own hands because I don't want to be mean, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't vote at all. But, for God's sake, he didn't even vote at all. Wow.
So as soon as he decided to leave it to the room, there was a corner of the table, and I think I know who the culprits were.
Oh, I know exactly who voted for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tall John. Not that anyone cares, but it was Tall John and Jamie, who are still bitter because you were responsible for them getting voted out a while ago. They were one. John Hamm's proxy, because John Hamm missed the draft for the third straight year.
That's getting a little ridiculous, but that's fine. Okay.
Elliott, who, in a classic Survivor move, he knew he was on his way out. He could feel a little groundswell moving against you, so he jumped on that.
Playing defense.
And then who was the fourth?
Paul Cohorst.
Paul Cohorst.
Now
that one I don't.
Basically, that's the one that annoys me too. But it's basically where everyone was sitting, which is funny because I don't think you were even there yet. Elliott came in and he's like, "Can I sit near you?" I'm like, "No, get out of here, Elliott. I got to input the rosters and I can't talk the whole time. Go sit on the other side of the table." And it was right then where he got. It was some collusion. And there's so many stupid things to this, but I'm actually okay.
Well,
with
there's.
I have to be okay with it. This is my little thing, and whatever. It's I have to say, driving home, it was a punch in the stomach. It's not like I don't want to say it was like a death of a relative, but I definitely would have rather had my dog die than get voted out. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in there, I think.
Well, this is going to really hurt then because your friend Brad,
Yeah.
who has been with you through thick and thin for all these years, as you have been with him, he, for some reason, panicked when there was this vote and voted for Damashek.
He did. Yeah, I figured that. I figured.
Not realizing that.
Voted for you. Was that how? Because believe me, I've been up all night trying to figure this out. Even though
so Brad screwed up. Brad did the classic move where he overthought it and thought it would be fun. He just was decided to vote for whoever and didn't realize that his friend Sal, who pays for half of his team every year, was in danger.
Right, and paid for his burger at the draft and everything else. 14 Mountain Dews. How did that even happen to end up last night?
Yeah, I realized this as I drove Brad home last night because you had already been voted out. So Brad was the one who screwed this up.
Well, yeah, and also I did too. I mean, I voted for Tall John and Jamie. Had I known it was going to be so close, I would have voted for Elliott. We would have re-voted, and I think I would have won 6-4. I think you would have voted. Brad.
So now you don't have a fantasy draft.
Well, you're
not in a league. I mean, you have your East Coast league.
I sped home and ran by the wife and went online and immediately joined the high stakes fantasy league. With guys.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'll probably get knocked offline at the draft tonight, but that'll be funny. But
So you joined a high-stakes fantasy league with a group of strangers?
Exactly, yeah.
Can you admit now that this is idiotic that we vote off somebody every year? Why can't we stop doing this now?
No, I think the way it was done last night was idiotic because, either you have to either use it or lose it. You can't put it up to a vote for everyone. That wasn't the spirit behind the rule, but no, it's great. It's great. It's fine. I'll be back next year.
How is it fine? The draft was not as fun with you not in the room.
Oh, was it? Well, that's sweet of you to say.
I had to be 100 times more mean and sarcastic than
normally.
Really? I really had to step it up. Yeah, I did. I really stepped it up. I farted a couple times for you.
Oh, there you go. Good.
I insulted John Hamm's proxy a number of times.
Good.
I had a couple scathing comments at Elliot. I really tried to do my part, but it just wasn't the same. It's not in me.
Good. No. I want everything to continue as is and was. But and you were nice enough. You actually called me after you got home. That was nice of you to do. You left a message. Can I play that now? I should just play.
Yeah, you can play that.
Right. Let me play that now. Cousin Sal, sports guy Simmons here. I just jumped in an Uber taxi on my way home from Happy Ending Bar, and it turns out I was overserved. I had one too many skinny girl margaritas and made a major number 1 in my parachute pants. So I decided to play it safe and hitch a ride home. And look, I'm so sorry you got kicked out of our league. Bunch of inconsiderate fart faces, if you ask me. And I'm going to let you know you can join my other league. That's what I'm calling for. It's 12 teams, and we have an open spot. It's me, Jalen, Jacoby, Joe House, Jalen, Sully, Gus, Preston from MTV's The Challenge, Jalen, Jacko, my dog Rufus, and Jalen. $400 entry fee. No matter what place you come in, at the end of the year, everybody sends their money to Jalen. Then Jalen takes the prize loot and buys a 73-pound lobster. Eats it all by himself. Fair is fair, and Jalen loves lobster. Well, I hope that makes you feel better. I'm home now. Let me check my sched. Oh, yeah, time to pop the Eagle documentary into the Blu-ray player for the 4,756th time this week. Talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Sports guy, over and out. Koji Waihara. So that was nice. Nice to come home to.
That league sounds really good. Can we do that? Can the prize be a 73-pound lobster?
Get that together.
Yeah. So the draft was really strange last night because pretty much everybody had the same strategy, which was to go all in early on a bunch of higher-priced guys and then scrap to fill the remaining roster. So all of a sudden, everybody had like 10 spots and $16 left.
Oh, really?
So it was just a free-for-all of $1 and $2 guys. Yeah. You would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I don't really care. I'm going to try to ignore all of it. And I'm surprised that someone was able to input all the rosters already. But
yeah, that was Jamie who led the cabal against you, as I called it last night, the jihad.
Yep.
The Sal jihad. He felt bad. and inputted all the rosters for you.
That's all right.
Listen, the world is a worse place if you're not in this fantasy league, and I continue to hate this rule.
I still love the rule. I really do. I recommend it to everybody.
Well, I pictured you driving home with tears rolling down your face last night.
I did think about like the real Survivor and how people voted off. Like I really had a pit in my stomach. I was like, oh my God, imagine if this was for $1 million and you really became friends with people for like a month, like, and you were blindsided. Like I really could associate with the Elizabeth Hasselbeck of the world now.
Well, I do. I love these vote-off shows and the challenge. They have to vote people into the challenge at the end of every episode. Survivor, obviously, and a lot of times the people screw up and they vote for the wrong person, and then somebody gets mad and they're like, I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have. And you're always watching on TV going, well, that was stupid. Why didn't they just vote for the person they wanted to go in?
Yeah.
And as I was driving home last night with Brad, I basically had lived that whole thing. Brad had
admit it though, you had a more, I'm not going to say violent reaction, but you covered your head and like walked to the door when I was voted out. And I thought I handled it like a professional. I sort of laughed. I said, you got me. And I high-fived everyone and then walked out, right? There's no tantrum or anything. I
will say that when I saw my name on one of the cards, I got really mad. It's a good thing I didn't get voted out. I really would have been mad. That would have been it, too. I never would have come back.
Well, that's the thing.
I would have been voted out for life.
I always said that about you. You wouldn't play ball with it.
You'd never see me again. I'd just start another league. All right. Well, week 1, NFL. We have a game Thursday night. It is Baltimore at Denver. For the first time, I think, that I can remember, the Super Bowl champ is opening on the road. Has this ever happened before?
Well, it used to always happen. For Monday nights, with the Cowboys would lose every first Monday night after that.
No, it was since the Thursday night.
Talking about the Thursday nights? Yeah, I think so.
Feels like this is to become a tradition of the Super Bowl champ opened on Thursday night at home. And I
forgot what the reasoning was. Was there something with Washington, D.C. or something? Oh, was it with the Orioles, right? The Orioles play home?
There was some sort of stadium conflict.
Yeah, that was it.
I think they had like a weird music concert or something.
Was that it?
I think it was the Orioles. Yeah, it was something. But anyway, big break for Denver getting this one at home. But on the flip side, no Von Miller for 6 games.
Yeah, no Von Miller. Doomerville right back in their face immediately.
Yeah, and a little nobody believes in us going on with the Ravens, it feels like.
Very strange. Very strange.
Yeah.
So you guessed 6.5, right? You want to just say?
Yeah. I'll pretend I'm making these guesses on the cuff, but I mailed all my guesses to you just in case I ran over the lines.
Other day. I had already done them, so I looked at them. Okay.
I said Denver by 6.5 just because Denver at home, Peyton Manning on a night game, and people seem lukewarm on the Ravens. What'd you say?
I said 5.5, and I thought I was skewing a little bit too high, and it turns out I was not high enough. 7.5 is the actual line. So you get
7.5.
That is really, really over a touchdown. Is that immediately the sucker bet of the week? Like everyone's going to take Baltimore, put over a touchdown?
Well, we did 3 hours of 3-part NFL preview podcasts, and both of us were confused by the Denver thing just because it really doesn't seem like they're going to have a pass rush this year, at least for 6 games.
Right.
So, and then the way Manning runs that offense, quick, try to move everybody along, no huddle as much as possible, and a couple 3-and-outs, and all of a sudden that defense stays on the field. They don't have a pass rush. I like Baltimore in this game. Plus, you have the Raheem Moore flashbacks.
Oh, man. Well, that's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, Denver's going to be hell-bent on making sure this is not a one-score game for Flacco to throw a Hail Mary with, a minute left. So they might try to pour it on. But I don't love that they don't have a starting running back yet. They haven't named it. Maybe I guess it's Hillman, but I don't know. I'm just going to put a word out to everybody. It's not the worst thing to stay away from this game. I understand, everyone's excited. They just ate a lot, and maybe wait a few days to digest before you jump in the pool,
Or do Ravens money line with the over. I think the Broncos, I really think the Broncos and the Saints and the Packers might just be over week after week for a while until it corrects itself.
Really? All right, maybe.
Especially the Saints. The Broncos and the Saints, I just feel like all offense, not a lot of defense.
Yeah. That could be.
But
keep an eye on that.
we forgot to set up the rules every year. In case you've never heard this podcast before, every year before the week's games, we try to guess the lines, and the winner gets to hit the loser with a Subway sub, which we've never actually done. The
prize has never paid off, and I can't even remember who won last year. I think it might have been. If you can remember who won, just call in. Call anywhere. We don't have a number, but just call.
I think we tied last year.
We did? Oh, that might have been it. Yeah.
I think the lifetime it's 2-1-1. I'm up one sub.
Yeah.
One sub beating. Yeah. All right. So Sunday games. Before we get to the Sunday games, wanted to mention it's 2013. The NFL keeps screwing this up. It's really annoying. So all of the games are early except for two. It's just incredible. At least have 3 late games. What is the point of having 2 Sunday late games?
Here's what it is. You want to know what it is?
What?
Tennis. Stupid tennis. CBS can't run any late afternoon games on Sunday because they have the U.S. Open, what's supposed to be the finals, but it's outrageous. That's why there's only 2 games. We have 2 Monday games, a Thursday game, and there's still 10 early Sunday games.
And a Sunday night game.
How do you do that, Mike? How do you too late? Are people really going to care about Nate Dallin against frickin' Leighton Hewitt? Put New England Buffalo on. Wake up, CBS. Wake up.
Like, they couldn't have put Saints Falcons. Couldn't have been a 4 o'clock game instead of a 1 o'clock game.
Oh, just move another Fox game. Yeah, they could have done that too. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I know, I hate it, especially when you're trying to figure out teams. You don't need to be looking at 20 teams in the first 3 hours.
And you know what? Here's another thing. Hey, CBS, enough with the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Do you want to host football or not? Do you want to be my home for Sunday football or do you not?
There you go.
Make a choice.
There you go. And the other thing is,
choice.
There's a very good chance. It already rained the other day. There's a very good chance it's going to rain. Something's going to get rained out, and the final is going to get pushed to Monday. You got a final on a Monday, and you're making people watch Serena Williams on Sunday? Come on.
A listener emailed us that your Mad Dog impersonation is starting to turn into Larry David.
I know. I have to work on it.
Mad Dog Larry David.
Well, now that I'm not in the fantasy league, I'll have time to work on it.
All right, Sunday lines. Let's go.
All right, your team, New England at Buffalo.
Yeah, so it looks like E.J. Manuel is playing now. I don't know if I guess that's a better thing to have an injured rookie quarterback over Doug Toole, who's 4-22 lifetime in college.
It scares you a little bit, right?
I guess. I can't say I'm really scared either way. I have the Pats as 10-point favorites.
All right, let me just say, of these 10 early games, this is going to sound weird. We picked 7 of them exactly like each other, however you would say that.
Okay.
We matched on 7 of them, and this is one of them. I said 10, you said 10, it's 11. New England's given 11 as of this morning, so we split that.
All right, so now our goal for the rest of this podcast is to avoid putting them in a 3-team tease with 2 other teams.
Into 3? No, we have to. That's the first.
No, we made a blood pact last week. No 3-team teasers.
I know. We'll speak hypothetically, but this is a nice thing for your Patriots. I mean, 2 out of 3 first weeks is probably going to be against a rookie quarterback. Yeah,
it frightens me how confident I am.
I just think like Belichick's and like no effing around. We have Buffalo, we have the Jets, we have Tampa Bay. We win those 3, and our magic number is 2 to win the division. So,
do you think Gronkowski plays in this game? They'd probably keep him one more week, right?
Right?
Yeah, they don't need him in this game.
Tennessee at Pitt. Another one we picked exactly the same.
So I was thinking about it. Every year there's a game, and the favorite is giving like 5.5 or 6. And then the underdog wins outright. Right. Because none of us realize that the team that was favored is a bad team, and we just don't realize that yet. This has the makings. I have Steelers by 5.5.
We both had 5.5. It's 7. It's actually 7. Vegas loves the Steelers this year. They had them over 9.5 wins, or they had the over under 9.5 to have them 7 in this game. And it bodes well for Steelers though. We both picked this as a potential upset, so it's not going to happen. But
yeah, this is the best money line upset pick on the board that I could see because you're getting nice odds. Tennessee's probably one of the 6 worst teams in the league, but I'm not sure Pittsburgh's any better.
Pittsburgh has a lot of trouble scoring points. They just named their starting running back, Redmond, and I don't know, Tennessee shored up their defense a little. They got Pollard and Kamarian Wembley. I think this is a game. I really do.
I feel like I've spent a lot of time counting out the Steelers and then being burned by them at home.
Yeah.
They're pretty good at home.
Yeah, they are good at home.
Especially if Roethlisberger's healthy, and he does seem healthy. But that line does seem a little high.
This one's close. No deep threat with Wallace for a team that was already struggling to score. Tampa Bay at the Jets.
Not to bring up a sore subject, but I got the rookie Bell on Pittsburgh for $2 last night.
For $2?
Yeah.
Levy and Bell.
Yeah.
See, now I'm getting jealous.
Yeah, I figured.
There must be some really bad teams because I did cheat and look, and I saw Brad spent $140 on Adrian Peterson, Foster, and Calvin Johnson. You get 3 basically first-round picks. Who cares what the rest of his team looks like? And I saw your team, and that looks very good and balanced. So there must be some awful squads out there.
There were some bad ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went big on Rodgers, and then I was able to also get Alfred Morris, Reggie Cobb, and Des Bryant.
Yeah, I saw that. How much you spent on Rodgers?
41.
And what about Des?
Des was 39.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Reggie Cobb was 29. Hench decided to go mano a mano with me for Reggie Cobb because he knew I wanted the hookup. I hate when you see, you wouldn't know because you weren't in a fantasy draft last night because your stupid rule. But when somebody has the QB and then the wide receiver comes up, there's always one dick at the table who's got to drive up the price of the hookup.
Yeah.
So that was
that dick was driving home, unfortunately. So you didn't have to worry about it.
I got Gronk for 15.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I figured that's about as high as he should have gone. But when you think of how bad the tight ends are, what
did Graham get?
Graham went 30.
Wow. Oh, yeah. That's a good move then for Gronk.
Yeah. He's so much better than the other tight ends. A lot of people were in on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep
going. I'm getting jealous again. Tampa at the Jets. You screwed this one up a little. This was really your only bad pick the whole way.
Yeah, I had the Bucks giving 1.5 at the Jets.
Yeah. I had the Bucks giving 3.5. And Vegas thinks the Jets are going to be really bad. +4. Jets are getting 4 at home against Tampa.
Ooh. Are we sure Tampa should be 4-point favorites on the road over anybody?
Well, maybe not. People think there's going to be a cakewalk for them, but Jets, mark my words, they're going to throw everything at Revis. Stephen Hill, Jeremy Curley, Clyde Gates, they're all going to have a shot at picking him apart. This team stinks. This Jets team stinks.
We went over 100 picks last night before a Jet was called.
Really?
Yeah.
In my other league, there wasn't one. Who was it? Ivory? Who was picked? I'm
not even going to say. I don't want you to ever know.
I won't ever know. I'll be fine with that. We really should have bet Rex Ryan. We had fun spreading the board a little bit with some postseason bets or preseason bets. But Rex Ryan to get fired first would have been a good way to go, right?
Well, who said we can't still do it?
I guess we can still do it.
Minus 150?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Plus 150 or 200. But the Jets don't have to be as bad as some other teams for Ryan to get fired. With the media being the way it is, they could be 1-4 or 1-5, and he could be gone.
Well, we looked at this, though. Isn't their bye week is week 8 or week 9?
Yeah.
That's usually when teams fire the coach.
Right. That's too late? Oh, you think? Okay.
I still feel like I'm still looking long and hard at Jim Schwartz and Ron Rivera.
I like those guys to get fired, too, but Rivera doesn't talk much. Rex Ryan could blow up at a press conference, and that'll be that for him, with the 1-16.
Rivera and Schwartz probably should have been fired last year.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. And if those teams start out 0-3 or 1-4 or whatever, I could see that not ending well.
I think the owner's just afraid of Schwartz. Doesn't want to get plugged in the face. Got to be careful.
It's possible.
Atlanta at New Orleans.
Great one.
It is great.
I think I hit this exact. New Orleans by 3.
Yeah, we both got it. -3. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fun game to start the season.
We're both in the super contest that the LVH has. And
I didn't get kicked out of that?
No.
Right.
And Saints 3, I'd be surprised if they lost this game. just
Really?
because of the whole band's back together. They're in the dome. Their fans are so fired up to have Peyton back and everything. And feels like more of a must-win for them than Atlanta.
Well, I know, and I do like them too this year, but I don't think they're going to be. You say they're going to be in FU mode. I don't know if a defense run by Rob Ryan could be in FU mode any part of the year. I have to think them a little bit.
I've softened some of my opinions from last week's 3-part podcast.
Yeah.
I still think the Saints get to 10 wins, but you're right. It's tough to be in FU mode if you're giving up 35 points a game.
Yeah.
The one team I've switched on we'll get to, but there's one team that I've changed my opinion since last week. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
We'll get to that.
It's not KC or Jacksonville, is it?
No.
All right. KC is at Jacksonville.
I have the Chiefs by 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3.5.
Well, would you be surprised if it was 4? I said 2. I don't know why I said 2. I love the Chiefs this year, and I think they're going to kill these teams. And I think if this game was played in Week 9, the Chiefs would be 8-point favorite. I think that's just how it's going to be. But they're 4. Chiefs are 4 on the road.
Well, we've talked about this in the past. This is the best week to get value like that. You're right. If the Chiefs turn out to be a 10 or 11 win team, this line would be 6.5 or 7 in 4 weeks.
Yep.
But nobody totally knows what to expect with them. Plus, Andy Reid, on the road, who knows?
Sure. I mean, it's a nice money line thing to take if you could parlay it with something. But
I like it at 4. If it climbs to 4.5, I'm going to really have to dig deep and start thinking about Blaine Gabbert.
Really? All right.
Yeah. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going to dig deep and realize I should take the Chiefs.
Yeah. If you dig deep enough, KC will still be at the bottom.
You'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right. That guy's terrified anytime there's a blitz.
Yeah. I like this one. Seattle at Carolina. Got a lot of good matches this week, I have to say.
It's a nice one. I don't like that first game for Seattle. I think this is a sneaky tough game.
If Carolina pulls it out, like they're already on the fence playoff team. You're going to look at them differently. It's a 3-way race in that NFC South.
Well, you think, knowing the Cam Newton, Ron Rivera history, what are they like? They're 6-13 together, but 12 of the 13 losses were 7 points or less.
Yeah.
So I'm going to predict Seattle as 3.5-point favorites. They win, but don't cover.
Wow. All right, we both said 3.5, and there's even a bigger spread for them to win and not cover. It's 4.5.
Oh, they're definitely not. They're definitely winning and not covering.
So you have Tampa at the Jets, you have KC at Jacksonville, Seattle at Carolina. At least one of those teams loses, right? One of those favorites on the road, right in that 4 area.
Yeah, the underdogs were covering 58% of the time last year.
Yeah, they were solid. But Carolina typically gets off to a slow start, right? Is that their thing, or are they fold? Yeah, slow start, I think.
The thing is, though, if the Jets at home is almost like if I'm betting against the Jets, I'd almost they were rather at home.
Yeah.
Because their fans are just going to be so angry and bummed out the whole season. They're better off playing on the road. We've
been on this game for a good 25 seconds. No mention in your call to me of Russell, hustle, and bustle. Is there problems? I don't know. You and Russell.
We're back. We've never been better.
You are? All right.
Yeah, we're really good.
Okay.
I think he's going to have a big year.
Okay, because there's a rumor that there's a freshman in town, E.J. Manuel, has a locker next to yours and making eyes at you. Huh?
No.
All right.
Way.
All right,
Russell and I are back for year 2.
Cincinnati at Chicago, another good one.
I spent $41 on Rodgers, and I was gonna get Russell Wilson as my backup for like $4 or $5. He ended up going for like $9.
Yeah.
So I let him go, hoping that Eli Manning, I could get him at the end of the draft for $1, which I did.
You got Eli for $1.
I got Eli for $1.
Wow.
And now I'm thinking, why wouldn't I start Eli in week 1 in Dallas when they win in Dallas every year and score 30-plus points every single year?
Look, haven't I been through enough? You got to rub that in.
I know, but I have that or Rodgers in San Francisco.
You probably should start Eli.
But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to start Eli, and then he's going to have one of those games where he sucks.
Right.
And they'll get 30 points somehow, but it'll be like on defensive touchdowns and stuff. And then he'll blow, and then I'll be mad at Eli Manning. And it's like he keeps sucking me back in. I don't even know how he ended up on my team.
Well, that's going to be the thing. That's how you do it. I hate to talk about fantasy, but what are you going to be angrier at if your decision goes south? You know, Rodgers, you sit Rodgers and he has a good game, or if you sit Manning and he has a good game? Probably if you sit Rodgers, right?
Odds are Manning has a better game than Rodgers, though.
Yeah. They could be down, Green Bay.
Let's keep going.
Cincy at Chicago.
Another good game. So now, this is the team I've flipped on.
Oh, which one? The Bears, right?
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to – I think I underestimated them when I did the pod last week.
Well, here's why you flipped on. I'm going to tell you right now why you flipped on. Because my Twitter following is minuscule compared to yours. So if we're both against the Bears on the podcast, and I'm getting dozens of tweets resembling death threats, Jesus, God forbid you take the Bears to go under 8.5 wins on a podcast. You know, I think that's what happened. You got scared by these people. You got bullied.
No, I read up on them because I wasn't sure that NFC North, that was one of the divisions I didn't really have a handle on last week. And I took another look at it. The coach really seems like people like the coach. And then they fixed the offensive line. They won 10 games last year, kind of quietly. And I don't know. Well, I like both of these teams.
Cutler's been sacked 153 times in 4 years, and he's about to meet Geno Atkins. Good luck, Kyle Long. I don't know. I have we both. I like both. We both
you
took,
like the Bengals
Chicago.
a lot.
What's that?
You like the Bengals a lot this year.
I do. I have them going to the Super Bowl. We both took Chicago -3, and that's the line exactly. So that's a feel-out game. They don't really know what's going to happen. So the home team gets the field goal.
Here's the case for the Bears. Andy Dalton on the road with a really fired up crowd and a good defense going against them.
They should win this. If they lose this, you go right back to your opinion of what it was 3 days ago, right?
The Bears should win this. They should be able to take care of business against Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
And if you're the Bengals, you lose this game, it's not a disaster because Chicago's a tough place to play. You just want to have a respectable performance.
All right, my favorite game, Miami at Cleveland. All these great games I've just read out. Miami at Cleveland. I
went Browns by 2.5, and I like the Browns.
You went, yes, we both went 2.5. This is another one we hit exactly. We picked exact to each other, but it's -1. Cleveland's only -1.
Yeah, it seems like people are a little bullish on the Dolphins as being half decent. I don't see it.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Winner of this game gets the 6th seed in the AFC.
Oh, wow.
Yep, don't even play the rest of the games. That's it.
6 seed. So you're saying the wild cards will be.
I can't remember.
So who are your wild cards then?
I said the Chiefs. I said initially the Chiefs and Dolphins. I think Colts and Ravens are left out in the cold.
Okay, so you have Chiefs Broncos both making it.
Yeah.
And then you're saying the other wild card gets snuck out by either the Browns or the Dolphins. Right.
Patriots win a division, Bengals win a division. Texans.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
No, it's going to happen. Look, I have to be right about something.
I think I would vote for the Ravens as that 6th seed.
Yeah, they're going to be 0-1. We're deeply invested in the Browns though this year. We have bet over their wins. We've bet Mingo as defensive rookie of the year. We're getting Lombardi, our friend Lombardi, and Alex Shine a little nervous at how confident.
Well, Mingo was 15-1, which was outrageous because that should have been like for defensive rookie of the year. That should have been like 5-1.
Yeah.
I mean, we might not win it or not. I just thought the odds were wrong.
It's always a tough linebacker. If he stays healthy, we got a good shot.
You did the research. It's always somebody who gets sacks.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's never like, oh, look at that nose tackle was great this year,
right.
Or that free safety was incredible. It's always somebody who gets sacks.
Minnesota, Detroit. I don't know. I mean, no result would surprise me in this game, honestly. Blowout, close games, either way.
If you're trying to pick the 2013 sleeper just based on the team had to win 6 games or less last year,
Detroit,
and that going from 6 games or less to the playoffs, which is usually the pattern, then Kansas City and Detroit are the two you look at.
But we also like the Schwartz to get fired. So how's he going to win 10 games and get the ass?
I don't like the Lions. I think this ship has sailed on the Schwartz era. And I like this. Looks like one of those Adrian Peterson runs amok games.
I said 3.5. You said 3.5. It's 5.5.
Oh, wow.
A little bit high, I think, but considering, like you said, the best player on the field is on the underdog side.
Does make me nervous, though. I remember I did something in my column last year about Ponder indoors versus outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually good indoors. His stats are solid.
Yeah.
Outdoors, he's a catastrophe.
Right.
But this game's indoors.
Yeah, this is all going to be AP, I think, mostly though.
Yeah, I like the Vikings. This is like a make or break season game for the Lions somehow.
It's a complete stay away, I think, for a gambler.
No question.
Yeah.
If the Lions lose this, though, I think the Jim Schwartz countdown is on.
Yeah, we should start that up. Oakland at Indy. This is the last of the early Sunday games.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch 1 minute of this game. Well,
you might, because this is our second team in our hypothetical 3-team teaser.
Oh, so you're saying I'll toggle over to it
every
once
around?
Check.
You're going to have to see if luck scores from the one. Punches
Might not be a bad strategy to just put whoever's playing the Raiders as one of your 3 teams in the 3-team teas every week, and you'll win 14 of those 16.
40% dead cap money for the Raiders. Quarterback, they don't really believe in. A running back, not sure he wants to play football. We couldn't be more against the Raiders this year.
And the stadium lease is up.
Yeah.
It could be like the last year for them in Oakland.
Taking our lives into our own hands, by the way, picking so strongly against the Raiders living in California here.
Mm.
Sweetest fans in the world, but sometimes they lose their temper. So
They do get a little temperamental.
Yeah.
I have the Colts by 9.5.
You got this one. You said 9.5. I said 8.5. It's 10. It's right on that number. And all 10 points disappear if we put them on a 3-team teaser.
I think that goes to 11.
Yeah.
Because the Raiders are going to lose multiple games by double digits this year. Probably at least half of the games they play will be over double-digit losses.
Yep. No need at all for Chuck Strong this game. No need.
Nah, save that for the next one.
Save it. All right, late afternoon, like you said, 2 games. Thanks to tennis. If you're sick of tennis, you can switch over and check out Arizona at St. Louis.
Oh, I was going to say give the crappy one first, and you did.
Yeah.
I had St. Louis by 4.
Yeah, you're closer than I was. I said 6.5. I underrate Arizona, I guess, and it's 4.5. So you're killing me, by the way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 8. If you include the ties, we each win a tie. It's 11 to 8.
I don't know what to make of either of these teams.
I don't either. There's a lot of those games, right? I would say.
Yeah, there's like 5 of those games.
Detroit, Minnesota is definitely one of those. I think this one is Arizona, Atlanta, Arizona, St. Louis. I would even say Tennessee, Pittsburgh. I'm interested in seeing what to make of these guys.
Yeah, I would agree. And yeah, those are the 3.
And Miami, Cleveland. I'm going to absolutely love one.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah. You're right. The Cards, it's tough, right? Because they picked this offensive lineman 7th, and he breaks his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you just basically, it's not their fault, but when you whiff on a top 10 pick like that in year 1, that's not good. That's not a good.
And I wanted to like the Cardinals. I actually think Palmer's good for Fitzgerald, and they got Mendenhall back there, who's got some loose stuff in his knee now. But I just think they're in the wrong division, and starting off on the road against St. Louis is. I think it only gets worse after that.
How much do you think Fitz went for in our draft last night?
Oh, come on. 23.
$33.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of Fitz momentum right now.
Is that the 3rd highest receiver? Is A.J. Green, Bryant, Fitzgerald? Oh, no, Calvin Johnson.
No, there were some ones in the mid-high 30s. But what's interesting with Fitzgerald is the combination of him in garbage time and then Carson Palmer in garbage time If that team's down 10, 13, whatever in the fourth quarter, like he's going to be getting half his points in those games. That's
true.
Carson Palmer especially.
They could be the 2011 Detroit Lions, the 2012 Detroit Lions.
Right, the Stafford Johnson.
Yep. Yeah. All right, Green Bay at San Francisco is the other late afternoon game.
Great game.
Really, really good.
I'm actually okay with, well, I'm not okay with only 2 games late, but at least this is one of the 2 games.
Yeah. Seems like we'll be able to watch this the whole time without having.
I also feel like if the Packers get their asses kicked, that's really bad for them.
Yes.
Because now it's like you got your asses kicked in the playoffs, and then now week 1 you had 9 months to think about it, and then you got your asses kicked again. Then what happens? It's
I'm confused. Was this the Thursday game last year, or was this just the Sunday game, or am I thinking 2 years ago with these two play? I mean, I know.
No, they played on a Sunday last year.
They did?
But I think Alex Smith was involved.
Right.
I have the 49ers by 4.5.
You're closer than I was. I said 3.5. It's 5.
Oh, Vegas zone. Our first one in the Vegas zone.
You know, we're doing this ingenious pool. I think you tweeted the rules to it where you 10 guys and
the wins pool.
The wins pool. You pick a team, and the order is constructed so that it really adds up. You pick what, like 2nd, 19th, and 29th or something? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I picked 2nd, 26. I picked 2nd, 16th, and 29th were my 3.
Yeah, so somehow the 3 numbers add up so that it really is fair. It works out, and I picked 5th, and I had to choose between Green Bay and San Francisco, and I like them both. And I said, well, who's going to win Week 1? I think San Fran takes it. I picked that.
Yeah, you're guaranteed 10 with San Francisco.
Yeah.
Although I will say, if you're looking at San Francisco versus Seattle, what team could randomly just fall out of the picture? San Francisco would have a higher likelihood, I think. Like,
I think they have a tougher schedule. They're a little weaker at wide receiver.
A lot weaker.
Yeah. Well, a lot weaker than Seattle. I mean, Seattle lost hard. Yeah.
I just think Seattle's solid. Like, I'd be shocked if they didn't win 10 games. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be blown away if San Francisco went 9-7. Like, I would just assume the receivers killed them. Kaepernick, maybe teams figured out that read option a little bit. Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I have Seattle going to the Super Bowl. I also you just came to the realization. What pick do you have? What team? 20.
I have the 29th pick. Yeah, in that wins pool.
It hasn't happened yet, but you have the 29th pick, and you're not going to touch Oakland, Jacksonville, or the Jets. I think you're looking at Arizona.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking Oakland or the Jets.
You're not taking Jacksonville either.
I may not have a choice.
What do you mean? Those 3 will be below you. You're 29th, right?
Last year I won. I had, I think I was 5, 15, and 23 or something like that last year.
Who did you win with?
Or 6, like 6, 15, and 23. I had the Ravens, the Seahawks, and the Colts. You have to hit that third team.
Yeah. The third
team. I got 10 wins out of the Colts. It is the greatest. I tweeted the link, and it's on Grantland. If you still have time to join the pool, it is fantastic.
And it's very low likelihood of you getting kicked out either, which makes it nice.
There's a loser's version of the pool, too, that John Walsh told me about that I thought about starting, but it's like, if you get the Raiders, it's such an advantage.
Too much of an advantage, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 15 losses out of the bat.
Raiders fans are going to hate us. I might walk around with
They're going to be terrible. I know. It's not like we have anything against the Raiders. I think it's more fun when the Raiders are good, but they're an atrocity.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. They haven't even started. All right, Giants and Cowboys. I never get a break. So draining every year. It's got to be a night game.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to hang over your head the whole day. The good news is you won't have your fantasy team to refresh all day.
Son of a bitch. Well, the other good news is we're probably going to do next week's Week 2 podcast on Tuesday since there's 2 Monday night games. So I'll be a full 36 hours removed from misery. Yeah,
that is good. You'll have time to regroup. I have the Cowboys by 3.5.
Yeah, I had 3. You had 3.5. This has been 3 all week and all off season, and I guess it just moved to 3.5 this morning. So you get that one too. They give it the hook. They usually let like Chicago, Cincinnati's 3, and New Orleans, Atlanta's 3. I thought they'd keep this one at 3, but the Dallas Packers.
How many years in a row have the Giants won in Dallas?
It's a lot. Is it 6 or 7? I think it's 6.
I don't know. I can't remember the last time I was talking
that's
to.
one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is we were one Des Bryant knuckle away from sweeping the Giants last year. So I don't know.
Right. I was talking to my friend. I always call my friend Hersheimer. He's a Giants fan. Mm-hmm. He always has a really good feel for his team. And he was saying he really felt like they could win the division.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what about week 1? Your offensive line's banged up. And he's like, I'll take my chances in Dallas. We do fine in Dallas. I am not worried about playing in Dallas. Okay. It was really confident.
This is what I don't like about Giants fans. This is one of the 400,000 things I don't like about Giants fans.
Well, isn't the cycle they win in Dallas, but then you win in New York?
Yeah, that's how it's been. But who knows with these games? Really, we're as good as our offensive line. It's the same thing. I guess they had the same problem.
I'm excited to have Des Bryant on my fantasy team again. I traded for him mid-season last year, and he was just a delight. I just loved every second of it.
He's terrific, and we have him to win. What odds did we get for most receiving yards for Des?
It was at least 10-1.
All right,
it was like 12-1, something like that.
We're one weird Calvin Johnson knee injury away from winning that bet.
I love the stories when there's always the round of stories about the guys more mature.
Mm-hmm.
They always have to do that when the guy's had a lot of trouble over the years. And it's like, no, he's mature now. He's showing up to meetings on time.
Right, yeah.
He comes to meetings, we have the meeting, and he's there right when the meeting starts. Everybody's like so excited about it. It's like, oh, congratulations.
He does normal things.
Yeah.
He hasn't crashed his car in 3 weeks.
Yeah. He hasn't been in the police spotter in 9 months. He's totally grown up.
Look at his mother's face, not a mark on it.
It is crazy. Read those stories and basically like they had no idea if he was going to show up to anything.
Oh,
we have a receiver meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Okay, I'll see you there. And then he never shows up.
But I think this is not uncommon, I think, with some of these players. But he had a guy, there was a guy hired just to follow him. And they couldn't do it. We couldn't wrangle him. Like he missed practice because his Porsche or something was getting repossessed or something. I mean, there was...
The Dodgers hired one of those guys. The Dodgers hired one of those guys for Puig.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I had one of those guys when I was 24.
What would happen?
I don't know. I feel like I could have been talked out of a lot of bad nights.
Yeah. They should have had one for you in Vegas after your 37th consecutive hour of blackjack. It's time to leave, Bill.
Listen, I'm just glad I can still crank it out at 3:30 in the morning at my age.
Pretty good.
Last one.
Monday night, last two games.
Last two.
Philly at Washington.
This is the other team I'm kind of turning on a little bit. The
Washington,
Eagles.
Right?
Nah, the Eagles.
The Eagles.
I was bullish on them because of Chip Kelly, but the more research you do, I forgot how bad Michael Vick was last year.
Yeah.
I made a joke last year in a column, and it wasn't even really trying to be that funny. Like, it was just what the situation was, that if he was an NBA player, he'd be at the point of his career where he plays in China.
Mm.
You know, like T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas and those guys.
Right. Interesting.
That's where he was. I don't whether you could bring the greatest coach in the planet in there, and it doesn't change the fact that this guy really seemed like he was finished as a starting quarterback last year.
He makes poor decisions, right? I mean, isn't that the thing? Like, he still has the speed. We'll hear the report like that he beat a horse in a race or something, and then we'll see that still has a great arm. We'll see a couple of highlights of his long pass on fly pattern.
Yeah,
but
so
still makes poor decisions in the pocket.
He makes very poor decisions, and he can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
So now he's in a situation where he's playing for a team that's going to run more plays per minute than any team in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So all you're doing are increasing the number of bad decisions that he might make.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it took me until like 3 days ago to realize that this is probably not the right horse to ride for 8-8 or 9-7.
What kind of odds that both RG3 and Vic finish the game? I guess it'd still have to be like minus 500, right? Maybe I should.
Yeah, I would say minus 700. But what would you say for combined starts for them in 2013?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like 13? Would you say? No, higher than 13. Maybe 17? 20?
No, it's still got to be higher, I think.
20?
Yeah, 10 and 10. I was thinking right in there.
I don't have a good feeling about
That should be.
Griffin.
I'm going to start a fantasy pool. Who lasts longer? I'm going to start a lot of fantasy pools.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a lot of fantasy time in your heads.
Hey, you guys live tweeting this? It starts at 4 p.m. on the West Coast.
What does?
Is Grantland? You had said something.
Yeah, we might do something on Monday. I'm not sure what, but something's going to happen.
4 p.m. start is rough.
Well, and also the 7 p.m. East Coast start is rough because, yeah, it's rush hour. That's going to be a weird crowd. I almost feel like that crowd's not even going to be fully there until like 7:45.
Yeah, right.
I had the Redskins by 4.5.
Yeah, we both. You're right. You had 4.5. I had 4, and it is 4.5. That's the Vegas zone you talk about.
Yeah, some people like the Redskins as a playoff team.
It's a good stay away, if you ask me. And then,
that's a stay away.
Like you said, Houston at San Diego. Forget about the West Coast. 4 East Coasters. This starts at 10:20. And I don't even know who's doing the game. Houston at San Diego.
I have Houston 6-point favorites in San Diego.
We both get this. I had 4-point favorites, and it's 5. That went up. It's been 4.5.
Another Vegas zone.
Yeah. Are we? Is this too much? I don't know.
I didn't realize San Diego went 7-9 last year.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, they were like 3-13. I remember them being a lot worse, but in my defense, they didn't show any of the games.
Right, that's true.
Every game they played was blacked out.
Well, the only thing you remember is the 4th and 28 against them that Ray Rice converted against them, which propelled the Ravens to the Super Bowl, basically. But yeah, this game's usually KC or San Diego against San Diego or Oakland, San Diego. Now Houston gets it on the road. I think the line's a little high.
Somehow they've managed to configure this so every year it's not interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the 7th straight year that maybe because by the time it's done on the East Coast, it's 1:30 in the morning.
That's the thing. They don't want someone to miss something too spectacular.
Right.
Now put Baltimore, Denver there.
You know, Chargers 7-9 last year, bad division. There's no chance they're going to be decent, right?
I don't think so. There is a chance you're going to take them with your 29th pick this afternoon.
I think
you take two teams. We like the Chiefs so much, and Denver's obviously going to be right around the double-digit mark, if not higher, maybe triple digits for wins. You sort of can't love San Diego too much, right?
So what's our 3-team tease?
Well,
the Patriots,
that's what I was thinking. Not too many on that back end there.
Patriots, Colts.
Who's the third? What do we do?
Giants getting 13.5.
Oh, not for me. Wow, Green Bay getting 15 at San Fran. You should be in that for a while, right?
What is the Texans line is 5, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just tease the Texans to +5?
I guess you could, yeah.
Then Phil Rivers has to beat you by a touchdown.
Yeah, that's true. Now, this is classic for us. Anyone listening? New England will win by 50. Indy will win by 75. And then Rivers throws a touchdown, a screen to
Daenerys Alexander will catch him off somebody's helmet.
No. It's got to be the guy that screws you, the Patriot.
Oh.
Yeah. Wins by 6 in overtime, kills our teaser.
Yeah, that probably will happen.
We have to think about that third team, but it's out there somewhere.
I can't imagine Houston losing by more than 5 points in San Diego.
All right. Maybe we just take Denver and have a win going into Sunday.
Unless the Mike McCoy era is going to be a little more lively than I expected.
Yeah.
All right, the cousin. Anything to plug?
Yeah, my blog, Friday morning, prop blog, and I'll have teaser picks and everything, and you can follow me at the Cousin Sal, or don't. It's not like I would ever know if you didn't. And Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight, Bill Hader, Richard Simmons. Yeah, they're a couple. And tomorrow, Jane Lynch, Jerry O'Connell, music from 2 Chainz. Friday, Celine Dion. There you go.
What was your single favorite moment of the James Franco roast?
It is Jeff ran all his jokes. Dozens more than you heard on the roast and saw on the roast by us. Like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
What was it?
He did the whole thing. Did the whole act, and they seemed like they actually ran half of it.
Yeah. What was it? I'm trying to think now. God, you tell me yours. He had so many good Jonah Hill Jags.
I enjoyed Sandberg the most because I didn't know where he was going in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he just really owned it. I thought he did a nice job of taking it in a totally different direction and sticking with it.
Yeah.
I like Sandberg. I think his show's going to be a hit.
It probably killed in the room more than it did on TV. But yeah, he took a chance with that. What was the Ross thing? There was so many good.
Right. You know, Ross had crossed a couple lines. I like when people make fun of Ross and he's laughing.
Yeah.
But the whole time he's thinking of how to get them back. I also thought Aziz Ansari seemed like when he finally got up to the dais, or not the dais, the podium.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was a little rankled by some of the jokes. Like he was legitimately angry.
He's like, wow, these Indian stereotypes, these jokes from 30 years ago.
1995.
And didn't even have a joke about it. Just like scolding everybody. But I think that's the genius of Jeff. He could look hideous, and he definitely does. And he overdoes it now with cornrows, and he's got the grill, and he, vaguely runs a through line in there. Oh yeah, that James was supposed to know James Franco played this as a character, and he can look the worst, and still he's the best. He just gets on everybody. There's nobody who can get over on him.
And it's been 12 years of it. On the Grantland channel, we did a little thing where you interviewed him about the truths and falsehoods of things in his book, and then it ended up with you attacking him.
Yeah, I think he started with me, but okay. Yeah, let people watch for themselves.
I would recommend that. But yeah, I thought, as you said last night, the entire left side of the couch seemed stoned out of their mind.
Oh, they're out of their mind. They were falling over each other.
Yeah. The only thing they were missing was like a big bowl of popcorn passing back and forth and just eating it like super
And what kind
hungry.
of popcorn do you recommend?
Oh, Garrett's popcorn.
You love that stuff.
You liked it too.
It was very good.
Yeah.
And that was after an eating contest, and I still helped you.
The Cousin. We have done 4 hours of BS reports this week, and now our Odyssey is complete. We will talk to you before week 2. I'm sure we will figure out our 3-team teas and a whole bunch of more horrible bets. Until then, thank you.
Good job by you, Billy.
Good job by you. Before we go, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Stamps.com. I stopped going to the post office a while ago because I happen to have a nice printer, and I like printing out my own postage. That way I don't have to wait in line at the post office. I can just do it here. You go to Stamps.com, sign up on the top right where there's a little microphone. You put in the letters BS, and you get a deal on a whole bunch of stuff, including money off postage, and you get a scale and a whole bunch of other things. Check it out, Stamps.com, your own personal post office. And coming on the BS Report tomorrow, Celtics GM Danny Ainge. Stay tuned for that. Until then.
So I get % off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.